Good afternoon. It's still Casual Friday over here. Going to go ahead and teach lesson 99. I was going to hold off, but I'm going to persevere. And you're going to need to persevere as well. Lesson 99 is probably one of the toughest lessons in this entire book. It's our last rate, time, distance question or lesson. If you go back, and you might write this down somewhere, I wrote it on the board and we'll talk about it. Lesson 92, you're exposed to the first one. Lesson 94, exposed to the second style. And then now we're going to do the final third style here in lesson 99. It's important to remember those numbers, lesson 92, lesson 94, and lesson 99. When you're doing your homework on your problem sets, you know, off to the side it tells you what lesson it's from. That will help you set up your problem so you know which style, how to set it up. So for example, lesson 92, this was our equal distance style, where it just had like a, you know, you jogged and then you walked back. Equal distance, D1, I just put as an example, equals D2. That's your little bit easier one. Then we bumped it up a little bit in lesson 94. These are called uniform with equal distance. You know, I think it talked about maybe the ships, they came in, they collided, okay? So maybe, you know, your ship 1 plus your ship 2 equaled the 300 miles per se, okay? That was your equal distance. D1 plus D2 equals 300. Uniform motion equal distance problems. Last but not least, the third style we're going to teach here in this book is from this lesson 99. It's called uniform motion problems with unequal distances. Unequal. Okay, so that means one's going to be ahead of the other. These are a little bit tougher. The times sometimes are a little bit harder to figure out because one maybe jumped ahead of the other. So these are the hardest problems. I think so. I've done this book many times, and I feel like this lesson 99 is probably the most difficult. All right, so we're going to dive into, I believe it's number 2 today because we're doing evens only. And I'm going to go as slow as I possibly can without going too much over my 8 or 9 minutes when I'm loading up on YouTube here. All right, so Eleanor started out at 60 miles per hour at 9 a.m., 2 hours before Alexi started out to catch her. If she was still 60 miles ahead at 3 p.m., how fast was Alexi driving? Okay. Now, as far as like doing it, we'll use E for Eleanor and A for Lexi. You know, your drawing's going to look something maybe like this. So Eleanor drove, and then we have Alexi coming, and then in the story problem, it said 60 miles per hour, all right? Ahead, I'm sorry, 60 miles ahead. So that's where the unequal distances come in here. So again, these are a little bit tougher. So let's go ahead and, like I said, we'll designate Eleanor as E and Alexi as A. So it said Eleanor started out 60 miles per hour, and let's see, and then Alexi started out to catch, Alexi was trying to catch her, okay? So if she was still 60 miles ahead. So we're going to write distance of Eleanor equals distance of Alexi plus the 60, okay? That's going to be our formula. And then you know how to break that down. When you have distance, you know distance equals rate times time. So we can go ahead and change that DE now to RETE equals RATA plus the 60. Okay? Adding that back in there. All right, so now let's go back to that story problem. We got to find our knowns. This is where the time gets a little tricky too, because you automatically see that time in there. You see 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and you think, oh, well, there's two knowns. Okay, now go back, reread that again. It said that Eleanor started out at 60 miles per hour at 9 o'clock, and then, of course, you know, she was still 60 miles ahead at 3 p.m. So you got to look at, it's not 9 and 3 are your times, it's the whole time period. So if Eleanor started at 9 o'clock and finished at 3 o'clock, that time there is going to be 6 hours, okay? So time for Eleanor is 6, all right? That'll be one of your knowns. Now, it did say that Eleanor started out at 60 miles per hour at 9 o'clock 2 hours before. 2 hours before. So then we're going to subtract 2 hours. So then the time of Alexi would be 4. So it would take her 4 hours instead of the 6 hours. All right, and then what else do we know right at the beginning? It tells us our rate of Eleanor. Our rate. I should have probably did that first, but that's okay. Okay, so there's our 3 knowns, so we can plug in now. So let's see, I'll do that off to the side right here, I guess. Maybe I'll put it down here. RE is 60, TE is 6, equals RA, we don't know, that's what we're going to be solving for. TA is 4 plus 60. Don't forget about your 60 there. So 60 times 6 is 360 equals 4RA plus 60. Subtract 60 from both sides. So 4RA equals 300. Divide 4 by 300. So the rate of Alexi was 75 miles per hour. Now go back to the question and see what it's asking. If she was still 60 miles ahead at 3 p.m., how fast was Alexi driving? Okay, so it did want just her speed. That was it. So you always want to go back. Sometimes it'll ask for, the total distance. It might ask the rate of both. So you do always need to go back. When it says to draw a diagram, it's not necessary, but if you need to see that, that's perfectly fine, but you're not going to be marked off if you do not have the diagram. But I do want you to make sure you circle your answer because, again, sometimes it might ask for both, okay? So, like I said, this lesson 99 is one of the hardest lessons. But remember these, 92, 94, 93. Those are the 3 styles of our distance, rate, time questions. And you need to look at those when you're going down your problem sets just to see how to set it up, all right? Now, some of you are probably saying, oh, Ms. Huff, what is the question going to be on the next test? You will have one of them. I'm not sure if it's going to be from 92 or 94. I'll let you know later, but I will not give you one from lesson 99 because I feel like I'm not there to go over questions that so many of you, would ask during class. So it will be, one of these 2. All right, guys, I love you. And again, persevere. Don't be afraid. We'll work through some of these during Math Lab. And I'm going to be doing Math Labs on Friday. Keep the same, tradition. But I'm going to adjust the time because now some of the E-Zone classes are on Zoom, and I don't want to, collide with them. So we'll either start a little earlier or we'll go a little later on Friday Math Lab. All right, love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.